Hey everybody, welcome to MCAT Radio. I'm Scott.
And I'm Neil.
Just can't find a nice, easy way to just jump right into the show. I'm still waiting for the previous ad to kind of start wrapping up, but then they just keep adding on for it for sure. But you're listening to 101.5 KFGM.
Yes.
This is our companion show with both MCAT and the community radio. So, of course, we do that every episode, but it helps pad us out a little bit more time for sure. But did you guys go to the No Kings protest over the weekend, if you're listening?
It was pretty big.
Pretty big. A lot of people. A lot of things.
My wife is actually in the Missoulian picture of it.
Oh, great.
Yeah, I won't tell you where, though.
Nope.
You can play Where's Waldo with someone you've never seen.
Exactly. That's like an extreme. Remember the Waldo one where it would basically just be everyone's Waldo, but you had to find a very specific
The right
Waldo? And it's like, that was probably the worst of it. That's what made me give up on Waldo.
I hate Waldo.
I hate Waldo as a franchise. I'm ready for the Waldo cinematic universe.
Waldo betrayed me.
But I'm pretty sure they did make a Waldo animated series at some point. And you can make your own series here too on MCAT.
That's right.
Yeah.
Missoula Community Access Television, your media resource.
Yes. So people can rent out equipment, cameras, gear, and even learn a lot about Blender, which they can make their own animated show.
3D modeling, animation. Arcane was made in Blender.
If you don't know what Arcane is, it is a League of Legends kind of spin-off cinematic.
League of Legends.
Yeah, but seriously, like the League of Legends cinematics, like they spent more money on that than the actual game, it feels like.
I have the art book for Arcane, and I was reading it, and they're like, we have mountains of unused lore because it's an arena team-based game. There's no place for story.
You're right. You know what? Let's not talk about the No Kings anymore. Let's talk about Arcane. Your wife is just getting to the show, which is a Netflix original show.
We're watching season 2 now. I've seen it before. She hasn't.
Yep. So they did 2 full seasons. The first season dropped during the pandemic, so it was definitely at its hype. And then the second season came out just a year or two ago.
End of 24.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the second season, I definitely have to rewatch that again because the first season, I ate that up a lot. I did enjoy it quite a bit, and it's just a overall great character development from across the board. Is a great ensemble cast because you know exactly why they're doing the things that they're doing, and you can understand why they're justified in their actions, even though some of them are just terrible.
Oh, yeah. Well, every time Heimerdinger's on screen, I smile. I
know. He's like one of those kind of guys who's just like, I guess you're the Yoda character,
yeah,
but also like kind of fun.
Yeah. He's like, I built a city and then didn't care about the poor people, but I'm nice.
Yeah.
That's him.
Yeah, pretty much. He basically did the whole thing where he peaked. And then he just says, like, I'm going to spend my retirement working with the poors.
Yeah, he's really thriving in retirement.
So he's kind of like left the private sector to open a nonprofit in the city. It's kind of funny for sure. But speaking of some people who are definitely dealing with economic struggles, is that we had Project Community Connect last Friday, and it is where all the resources, all the organizations in town, nonprofits and otherwise, combine their forces to bring booths for folks, so pick up some swag, survival gear, all sorts of things, even get some dental work and a haircut.
Oh, yeah.
So that was just all happening that one day. The library does host those RAD days, RAD days, every once in a while.
Resource Access Days.
Exactly. So for people who are looking for that kind of stuff, they have those kind of things available. But I think it was a good success. There's a lot more people in and out of the library, people I haven't seen before. So it's good to have those kind of connections to be able to kind of bridge that divide because, the library has always kind of been the third space for people. Because, third space kind of acutes to people who just like, I go to work, I go to home, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, that's that one clip from SpongeBob.
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, there's a clip where it's like, we're free, we're alive, and then it just like goes through one guy's like daily life, and he doesn't change expressions at all, but the background changes.
Exactly. Oh yeah, that one was like, and they were just like, he's now free to do whatever he wants.
Exactly.
You coming to bed, dear? Yes, hon. Yeah, I mean, honestly, we all are making kind of, a lot of our own decisions to what we want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Some of us have to do the things that we need to do just so we could make ends meet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's kind of how it is. That's the thing. And I know that the community radio is a good resource for a lot of people who want to have like a third space, even it is to have a conversation with
Have
another
a hobby.
friend. Have a hobby. Do something besides what you normally have been doing. Because, part of this is kind of like a part of our job, too.
Yeah. See, we're fortunate enough, or arguably unfortunate enough, to have a lot of our hobby things be part of our job.
Yeah, which is great. It's like, don't love your work your love. There's dumb sayings they always say online where everything's
Just reversed, yeah.
Exactly. It's like,
if you want love to be a part of your life, first you have to make life a part of your love.
Don't die trying. Try dying. I just kind of ended it right there. But yeah, it was an event that happened from 10 a.m. to about 3 p.m. here last Friday. It's an annual event. Honestly, I thought it was pretty well done. They had a barbecue out on the blocked out section between Main and Front Street, and so they had some vet centers. I think a big part of Missoula's homeless outreach and all these kind of community connections is that they also have food available for pets and animals. Animals is also a good food bank for animals. So if you're struggling to paying for animal foods and stuff like that, or heck, even
shout out Animals.
Animals. They also accept donations of animal food, too, as well, so you're more than welcome to donate to them. I'm always giving them a shout-out because they do such a great thing for the community. And they hold – I really appreciate how they hold a lot of people accountable to raise cats.
Yeah.
A lot of times if you get a cat and you bring it back, they're just like, nope. They're just like, we're not going to let you adopt another cat if you can't even take care of the cat. They want to make sure that the cat's going to a responsible place.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny because, I remember when you were getting a cat through Animals is that they called me to see if you're good.
It's like a job interview.
It's like a job interview for a cat. And I actually kind of appreciate that kind of level of commitment that they put into it for sure. So, yeah. Anyways, like Animals, good resource for donating food for animals and pets and stuff like that. And then as always, for those of you who are kind of like disenfranchised to the POV, there's always many other resources. Sovereign Hope Church does a lot of great things. United Way of Missoula, heck, even I'm thinking of Front Step CLT, the North Side organization that is geared towards a lot of these programs. I'm just speaking.
I also got to give a shout out to the job service.
Yes, job services. Yeah, they really help placement.
Yeah.
And not to mention Neighbor Works. They're a nonprofit that works in tandem with the city of Missoula to effectively help people who live in mobile park homes effectively pay for the land underneath them, with a collective goal of uniting the mobile parks to be able to pay for the land under them so they can stay in the mobile parks and a more permanent residence.
Getting a manufactured home is like, finally, I own my home, but you don't own the land.
Exactly. And I think that's something that the city and the county should look into, especially through this new program through the TED, otherwise known as the Targeted Economic Development District. And so essentially what they do is that they put future taxes on a lot of land so they can build out infrastructure. And if they wanted to really save money and keep a land trust for the people, why don't you just put in modular homes, pre-made homes? And, you've been seeing it on the news, maybe a couple things on social media where a lot of the whole modular pre-made homes, assembly required homes are becoming more and more necessary in this economic uncertainty.
The county's softened on ADUs recently.
Yes.
Which would be things like the tiny homes and...
and just basic home expansion.
Yeah.
Yeah, so converting your garage or just adding another level. And I think that's a big part of what Franklin to the Fort neighborhood is doing. From what I've seen is that having another layer added to their home, 2 stories is basically kind of like the cutoff from what I've seen. From what of this new overlay of what the Unified Development Code is talking about. So there's
you gotta
room.
Be careful how you build on a lake bed.
Exactly.
It's all clay here.
It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's why we can't have those like big, extravagant underground parking garages, because that's one of the questions I asked the city. He's like, why didn't you just put it underground so you don't have to see them? It's like, well, because our soil is...
Yeah, we don't have a rock bed.
We don't have a rock bed. Our aquifer is completely and utterly unprotected. Unprotected! Yeah. It's kind of crazy. When you think about like environment and stuff like that, they just actually did a recent study in Iowa where they're talking about, PFAS, pesticides, and all that kind of stuff that they use there. They have definitely one of the highest rates of cancer. And there's a lot of associations with that stuff. And
the poison's poison?
Exactly,
what?
Right. We kill the weeds, but we, instead of planting plants that fight the weeds, we just kill everything. Yeah, so there's a lot of like back and forth, and there's like a legal thing going on between, of course, Roundup, which is the biggest one of the.
How much have insect populations declined over the last 10 years? Look it up, Scott.
I don't know.
Could I get a fact check on that, Jamie? I don't watch Joe Rogan. I don't know anything about it.
I don't know. I can quickly Google and see what's going on there. Insect populations are declining globally, with studies suggesting a potential 45% drop over 40 years, or up to 75% in some regions.
Yeah. Apparently, even like parks that don't get any pesticides.
Yeah.
Just because it travels.
Yeah. May I suggest that people plant lavender along with their organic vegetables, because it's a natural deterrent against those bugs.
Yeah.
Not to mention there's like long leafy grasses. You can actually, like, I literally just Googled insect resistant plants, and then most of the insects just kind of move on to their own thing.
Yeah. Spray vinegar over everything.
I'm gonna, like, as much as people hate mosquitoes, there's a lot of bugs and insects out there that are really good for the community, and I think that people don't give a lot of appreciation to some of those bugs, especially the nocturnal ones. And I've said this before on this show, and it has a lot to do with the moth. If you've ever been to any of those Bugs and Brews.
The humble moth.
The humble moth, which also acts as a pollinator. So they're a major pollinator, but they operate at night. And you can't really, it's hard to track bugs even during the day, heck even at night. And they outnumber bees 10 to 1, if not more so.
Moths.
So moths, you got to give love for moths because they're a major pollinator. So if
clothes,
all the bees go away, at least we have moths.
At least we've got moths.
All right, so let's wrap it up with some talks about the No Kings. So MCAT had a chance to film it. We filmed the last couple rallies here in Missoula. MCAT just kind of films a lot of things and events that are happening in Missoula. I'll have some more history to talk about after this protest. So without further ado, here's a little taste of this.
My parents met at a public meeting in the lead up to Montana's 1972 Constitutional Convention. My mother was from Eastern Montana, a liberal Democrat who worked for Senator Metcalf in D.C. before I was born. And when I was young, she was on the high school district school board that helped build Big Sky High. My father was from Western Montana and a conservative Republican. He spent his early years working in environmental advocacy and conservation efforts in the Bob Marshall Wilderness and the Rock Creek Drainage. When I was a kid, he was the chairman of the District 1 school board here in Missoula. But more than any other, I learned politics at my grandfather's knee. He was a social studies and civics teacher, became a principal, and worked in the Montana public schools for 40 years. But one career in public service wasn't enough for my granddad. He stacked on a second one, representing this community for 7 terms in the Montana House of Representatives. So you forgive me if I grew up as a kid assuming that not only did all of us have political opinions, but that all of us would take them out in the public sphere as active citizens. And when my term came, I went off to university to study politics, constitutional law, and I've spent nearly the last 3 decades teaching those things, all in public higher education.
All right, and you can get a taste of that by just going on to our YouTube page at MCAT TV Missoula. We got to look up No Kings 3, because it's the 3rd one that we did here in Missoula.
No Kings 3.
No Kings. The trilogy is complete.
You're going to get a quadrilogy?
I'm not sure. Who knows? Who really knows? Because, like Bernie Sanders and AOC came through Missoula last year for the Fight Oligarchy tour. It kind of feels like it was like 10 years ago, right?
Ugh.
But it was just last year.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Time.
Politics.
Time.
Yes. And, MCAT has always been around for a lot of these, political changes, political events, and stuff like that. Like, we did a story back in the early 1990s when the mayor of Missoula did their own show here on MCAT, because MCAT had a lot more people interested in doing television and all that kind of stuff, before YouTube, obviously.
Yeah.
And a big part of that, too, was about a protest against the Operation Desert Storm. And so a group of people laid down in protest on the Dahlberg Arena at the basketball stadium, and we we had people, security drag people by their hair across the floor, and there was footage of it, and there was a big reflection on it during one of the MCAT shows that we did with the mayor. So there's a lot of things and protests and things that we've been a part of for many, many, many years just by being there. We archive it. We've had so many things, so when you ever think about some of the old footage or any things of Missoula, it's best to really kind of think about MCAT. So I like to pat MCAT on our backs a little bit more just to give us a little bit of that.
Yeah.
MCAT.
Your media resource.
Yes, and one of the big things happening in Missoula, since we're talking a little bit more about that, for City Council last week, the city was looking to annex the North Side property, Story House, otherwise known as the former industrial Roseburn industrial sites. And so, we went there. We got a chance to get a tour of the Story House. We talked a little bit about it on our show.
I didn't realize that they were looking at annexing
Yes, and they're going to expand the urban renewal district so they can leverage the TIF funding to build more of those affordable housing expansion kind of stuff.
Right.
Yeah. So there's a lot of opportunity there. I believe they're going to be donating, or not donating, but setting aside about 23 acres of that north side property to develop. I really going to think that Scott Street is going to be, you grew up on the wrong side of Scott Street in the next couple of years, because there's all these new houses on one side and all these older houses on the other. So we're going to have northwest side and northeast side communities.
We're going to get groups of roving teens going through the Missoula graveyard.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Going, this is Missoula teen territory.
And then there's that one teenager wearing all black in the corners. It's like, I'm here. That's it. That's all they're saying. Because that's all they'll need to say.
Yeah.
Because they're true goth emo people. Just saying.
This is the teen territory.
This is teen territory.
Teenagers!
Usually when people tell me, hey, I like to go hang out in cemeteries, I usually just say, okay. That's it.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, you do you.
Yeah, they're interesting.
Yeah, they're interesting. The only time I ever go to cemeteries is for the Stories and Stones.
Stories and Stones.
So one thing that is unclear for a lot of people who don't even know about this event that happens every fall time when the leaves are just turning orange and reds and all sorts of things.
It's too early for fall. It's spring.
It's too early for that. But they're always looking for volunteers to dress up in period-accurate costumes and stand next to the graves of the famous Missoulians that had been laid to rest in the Missoula Cemetery. And they basically just give you a point-by-point story about their life, what they did in the community, why they were important, and the kind of things and influence they had.
It's I'm Higgins, and over there's Bonner. I hate that guy.
Yeah, those are just perfect. I just really like those videos themselves because the guy who does C.P. Higgins, the founder of Missoula, is basically just bashing Bonner every chance he gets. And he's just saying the only reason Bonner exists is because the David Bonner out of Bonner essentially leveraged politics to open a sawmill in the Bonner area. Mm-hmm. And the funny thing is that both men died on Higgins Avenue. Yeah, some great history there, and Stories and Stones is a great way to connect. Heck, even your wife was mentioning that she didn't even know about Stories and Stones. She actually brought it up to you. I was yeah, we do it. We do stories.
Yeah, well, because she found, she was watching a documentary where some other town did a very similar thing. Yeah. And I was yeah, we do that.
And if you're not satisfied with the taste of the Stories in Stone, lantern tours at the Historic Museum at Fort Missoula. I'm putting on my Friends of Fort Missoula hat on right now. Anything that you can do to support it. They just got reaccredited as a national museum. So shout out to the Fort Missoula and those folks there. They're doing a bunch of things happening, especially for the 4th of July, the 250th anniversary. They always have a big event that day. And last year, it was the coldest day of the summer. It really was. It rained, it was stormy, it was balmy outside.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully this year will be a good July 4th.
Yeah.
So look out for that. I mean, it's going to happen sooner than you think, even though it is just the end of March.
Yeah. See, I'm just hoping that we don't have to deal with any rain for when we shoot our feature.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're working on It Comes From the Well.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah, and that'll be fun.
Yeah, just a week.
Look for it on DVD.
New to DVD. VHS and DVD.
Home video.
Yeah, although we should honestly make a VHS copy for everyone.
Oh, I'm planning on it.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go buy some VHS tapes from Goodwill and record over it.
Or maybe I'll just, if anybody wants to donate the VHS to MCAT, they can just as easily just drop them off.
Yeah.
Yep. Station ID. You're listening to 101.5 KFGM MCAT Radio. I'm Scott.
And I'm Neil.
Yeah, so, just giving a shout out to a couple of the organizations for, let's see, here. Why don't you pick one and read some for folks? So this is underwriting. For these are the people who sponsor and give some revenue and some help for the community radio, and Neil's going to read one off for you.
KFGM is brought to you in part by Logjam Presents in Kettle House Amphitheater near Missoula. Upcoming events include Lord Huron, June 7th, Ziggy Marley, June 28th, Young the Giant with the Cold War Kids, July 29th, Symphony on the River with Lettuce, featuring Missoula Symphony Orchestra on August 28th, and many more.
Yep.
For full lineup and ticket information available online at logjampresents.com.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'm seeing some discourse about the pond over near Fort Missoula being poisoned or not poisoned. Are there fish in the pond?
That is a good question. I don't, I honestly don't know. This is the first time I'm hearing of it.
Yeah, here, I'll scroll down until I find it on the Missoula subreddit.
Yeah. I mean, that area, just in general, a lot of times the Fort Missoula area definitely has some close proximity to, water sources. And there's
an old gravel pit, right, that's a pond now.
Yeah, there's, ponds and, I really feel like there's a lot of it was fairly marshy in a lot of different times of the year.
Right.
But who knows? I'm not entirely sure of a lot of things that are going on in terms of the basic lawn care.
Yeah, okay. There's a pond, looks like just to the west of Fort Missoula.
Okay.
And they're asking, so it was an old gravel pit, right?
Right.
And this person's asking if there's any fish in there. Some people are saying that that there's some chemicals in it. Some people are saying that it was poisoned intentionally to kill fish there.
Huh.
Some people are posting pictures of fish that they've allegedly caught there. So
okay.
I don't know what's up with the pond. Do you?
I don't know. This is definitely something that should bring some more awareness to it. But it doesn't seem like there hasn't been too many overall studies done. But maybe this would encourage some studies to be done for that pond for future of it as well. Because a lot of times the land that is underutilized, especially in the county, some of them are just leave as is.
Yeah.
And then not to mention the open space bond money, which is looking to even further expand to the Y area where they're building up that new workforce housing, especially into the airport. Mm-hmm. They're trying to keep some of those areas natural, especially some of the areas that are hard to develop because of the way that they react to the floodplain.
Yeah. What might be fun to do at some point is just speaking of the county and the state and our beautiful public spaces, taking a bike trip down the Bitterroot along the bike path, because it goes what?
To Hamilton.
All the way to Hamilton.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It was part of a grant called the Tiger Grant, and this is one that preceded the Build Grant, which was eventually succeeded by the Raise Grant, and this was the Green New Deal under Biden. So these grants are to basically leverage federal funding for infrastructure improvements.
Yeah.
And so that was part of a 20-year Tiger Grant to get the pathway basically to Missoula, and the Missoula on our end made that overpass to connect the Bitterroot Trail.
Yeah.
So that was the big railroad track trail, everyone that goes down.
Trail.
So there's that opportunity to essentially ride your bike all the way to Hamilton from Missoula.
Mm-hmm.
And that's been in place for quite some time now. And I think
figure out how to do a live version of the Oregon Trail with bikes.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Oh,
and I also got to mention too is Run Wild Missoula is really looking to try those major ultra marathons because we have the trails in place. You have roughly 50 miles of trail.
Yeah.
So that would be a perfect ultra marathon track to utilize. I'm assuming they probably did at some point. I don't pay attention to the Run Wild Missoula group. I mean, heck, we can even invite those folks on if we really wanted to.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah, I mean, we honestly, I do want to reach out to some of the people that we're going to be working with for our summer camps. Mm-hmm. So shout out to our summer camps. If you have
summer camps.
If you have if you have any kids between the ages of 8 and 14 who are interested in media or just making making movies in general. We got our summer camps this summer. Our animation camp is full. We still have our documentary camp. We have our horror camp, and we have our generic movie making camp, where it's more of like the biggest introduction, where we do a little bit of everything in that camp. I really like that. Taste of everything. And then I think we still have at least one more spot available in our Springflix camp.
I think we do have only one spot available in our Springflix.
So that's happening in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. It's getting pretty close.
Can you believe it? 2 weeks.
Yeah, I'm going to definitely have to send some emails to some parents about it. Just, I mean, most of the kids have been kind of coming back every year, so we definitely have a lot of familiar faces who kind of know the drill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Springflix.
Springflix.
MCAT.
Yep. So I'm excited for that. Spring break is happening in mid-April instead of mid-March for the MCPS calendar. University just got finished with theirs spring break just the other week. Yeah. It's kind of crazy. And, the whole TSA thing and all that craziness that happened. They settled some kind of thing happening last Friday to get them funded further.
Right.
It's a kick the can down the road.
Well, they sent that back to, my understanding is the Senate reached some kind of agreement, sent that back to Congress, and then Congress went, nah.
Yeah, I think what they did is I think Trump just did an executive order to kind of like get things going. And he had to like rearrange some stuff. But all I know is that the TSA is somewhat going through this as well. And part of that is now TMZ has become a little bit more politically active, posted online saying that they are asking citizens to take pictures of politicians on vacation, basically to do the whole paparazzi thing against a politician, to kind of publicly shame them into being like, hey, you're not doing your job. Yeah. We keep on having these government shutdowns, and it's really messing with their bottom line, which is...
Hey, maybe something to keep in mind, employees of Paws Up.
Yeah. Oh, jeez, Neil, that's a shot fire right there.
Shots fired, shots
fired. Ow, ow, ow. Well, let's...
I'm not telling them what to do.
Glamping. You gotta love that celebrity ranching. Anyways, jeez. What was I gonna say? But anyways, I looked it up online just recently today. Their latest victim on this whole TMZ political train was Congressman Robert Garcia, who was seen gambling in Las Vegas. So that was their latest in political pressure.
Viva Las Vegas.
Yeah, but let's change it to something a little bit nicer. Lunchtime. It is lunchtime.
Lunchtime.
What is your feeling for lunch today?
I'm going to get a Costco hot dog.
Nice. You're going to not get the gordita chicken wrap crunch?
No.
Have you ever tried that?
I have gotten their chicken wrap, yeah.
Yeah, how is it?
It's okay.
Okay. Because I hear a lot of things about it. And
yeah. Well, and their pizza is thick.
The cheese on the pizza is thick.
Thick. Well, the crust is already pretty thick. It's not like deep dish or anything, but it's a thick crust.
Yeah, it's pretty insane.
And then the cheese.
Yeah.
So thick.
My favorite thing is that the CEO of Costco got a hot dog and ate the hot dog, and that's it.
Yeah.
It was
and
just
then
like
the CEO of McDonald's.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Go ahead.
He's like, I have some product here. It's like taking little bites.
And a very Squidward kind of bite when he first tried a Krabby Patty.
Delicious.
Exactly. Doesn't look as good as in the commercials. And then the nice thing about the internet too is like they always like the creators of those commercials kind of show you the hacks on how they make it look like it's real food.
Oh yeah.
It's like
because it has to be real food, but you can do all sorts of things like it, like using oil instead of syrup.
Yep. Ugh, crazy.
Like they do that. They use engine oil.
Oh
because it doesn't soak into the pancake.
Yes. Oh. It's
not
eatable. It's eatable.
Well, you can eat anything once.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Oh man, humans will put anything in their mouth.
Yeah.
We really do.
Like, that's because as far as like animals go, humans' poison resistance is crazy high.
Yeah, because we can throw it up.
Yeah, we can throw it up.
Yeah.
And we just generally have good poison resistance anyway. Other than that, so like, that's why we like peppers. It's the. Is it capsaicin, I think, is the chemical? And,
because our reaction to it was just like, oh, it's spicy. Animals should stay away. And then humans were like, let's challenge ourselves. And then you got Pepper X.
Yeah, it doesn't even affect birds. Capsaicin has no effect on birds.
Wow.
Yeah, so...
Well, I think they would depend on birds more than anything because, they fly around and do all
exactly.
that stuff.
So they want the birds to eat them.
Yeah, hold on a second.
Yeah, so... there's the thing is like poison resistance in human is high, but like you never know what's gonna disagree with you.
Exactly.
And that's why you don't eat random mushrooms.
Whoa, oh, settle down, people! Don't eat random mushrooms out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, because some of them are just straight up poison.
Yeah, some of them are like dead as a doornail poison.
Yeah, kind of like the mushroom that actually belongs to Mario.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to eat that one.
Oh, I forget the name of this one.
And that's a good segue because we are going to go try to see the Mario Galaxy movie.
Yeah, which apparently has Fox McCloud.
Yes, by
Fire!
voiced by Running Man's Glenn Powell. You might have recognized him as the Hangman at the end of Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah. So, what are your predictions for Fox McCloud? I'm predicting a barrel roll reference.
Yeah, I'm predicting that. Well, like I don't know if he's going to be like a mainstay character, if anything.
I'm sure he'll show up and be like, "Need a hand," and the
Yeah.
audience will be like, "Whoa!"
Pretty much. Or he could just have the same thing that they did with Donkey Kong, where they had like a whole segment devoted to it, and then they just kind of glossed it over. Because if you watch the first Super Mario Brothers, Donkey Kong was introduced. There's like, we're going to need the Kong army,
and then they don't.
And then they don't have them anymore. And it's like, oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure they're just setting up a Smash Bros. Cinematic universe.
Well, yeah, that's the talk, and it wouldn't be.
Have you heard of the Smash Bros. Initiative?
Yeah. Well, they're doing the Legend of Zelda now with the live action peoples.
Yeah.
Being able to kind of utilize a lot of that stuff is going to be interesting.
Zelda feels like a weird one to bring into live action for me.
Well, it's probably the easiest one to bring in live action just because it's like, oh, you're basically just have to do like a Lord of the Rings-esque kind of thing.
It's just the games are so goofy.
Yeah, the
games
are.
Tingle?
They get a little bit crazy in a lot of ways for sure. I don't know.
Or Beetle, who's like,
Yeah.
oh!
Well, we'll see. I mean, that's the thing is like right now they're shooting it with the actors and everything.
Yeah.
And so we'll just see. I mean, it completely
The
like
Legend of Zegend.
Yeah, and Nintendo is giving a lot of liberty nowadays. Is like they're opening the door. They did like a basic heel turn to be like, you know what? The 90s were the 90s. We were caught up.
Nobody knew how to make video game movies.
We were caught up in the hype.
Yeah.
And we had have a lot of failures to get to this point. But unfortunately, when the movie business is like when you have a failure or two, you're done.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just start a movie. It's like the same thing with the Todd McFarlane Spawn franchise.
Oh yeah.
Like Spawn has like a nice place in a lot of people's comic book for like really dark and gothic kind of
and then
cities.
The movie's like, hey, I'm the demon, I'm the devil.
Exactly.
And he's like, what? He's like, yeah, you're Spawn.
Yes, exactly. He's the spawn of Satan and all that stuff. And
I spawned you.
yeah, I mean it's definitely one of those kind of like comics that kind of got real crazy, and then they reset it a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, McFarlane Toys is kind of like the mainstay for a lot of their stuff because they make a lot of the really cool new rebooted toys and whatnot.
What was the crazy McFarlane lawsuit?
I don't know.
What am I thinking of? It was a.
Do you think it was with him and Shane Black?
Maybe I'm gonna
Not Shane Black. That's the director. I'm thinking of God. I can't remember his name. Todd McFarlane, and he also.
I'm looking up.
Yeah, he also directed the second RoboCop movie, and I think wrote for it too. You're probably screaming at your radio if you know it for sure, but it's like something that is just off the top of my mind. And he was the prolific writer of comic books in the 80s.
He had a really big one with Neil Gaiman.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Neil Gaiman, yeah, he basically got canceled a couple years ago for a lot of basically a lot of those underage kind of controversy stuff.
Yeah. Well, he also had a court case against Al Simmons.
Oh yeah, he was the actor who played Spawn in the movie.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, there's a lot of lawsuits.
Yeah, that's it's a darn shame. You always got to be careful because you know that's the thing is like if you have money, you can sue anyone for pretty much anything.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's some places that have like anti-slap lawsuits because you need a reasonable, reality to sue somebody.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it is kind of crazy to think about, and I mean that's the funny thing about Montana laws is that. We have the right to privacy unless there is perceived consent to be on camera.
Yes, we are a dual-party consent state.
Yes, most people just don't know that.
Yes, so no secret recordings.
Exactly.
If you ever get a phone call that says this phone call may be recorded, that's why. They have to tell you.
They do.
Like if you see a camera in public, you can reasonably assume they're recording.
Yes, but you're also in public, and that's where you can get around with like the concept of guerrilla filmmaking.
Yeah. But yeah, no hidden recording. So if I had a hidden camera,
No go.
No go.
No go.
If I had a giant 10-gallon hat with a camera lens.
Yeah. But then we get into certain levels of layers of policy, especially when it comes to public institutes like a library and a school.
Yes.
You know, the whole idea is like you're not supposed to have cameras inside libraries.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't talk about the cameras on the outside of the library building.
Yeah.
So if there's an incident, you can actually have a camera of somebody be like, oh yeah, that's the person that did it inside the library or something like that.
Mm-hmm. And of course, you can record basically anything you want in your own home.
Exactly. Yeah, what you do in the privacy of your own home is your own business, and that is protected by our Montana State Constitution. But of course, we also have some other programs we want to promote from MCAT on our YouTube page, MCAT TV Missoula. This is Winter Storytelling from Traveler's Rest, featuring Ramona Holt.
Invincible has two punch man.
We have already having entrances and everything so that people can walk across.
All right, so there's a little taste from the Traveler's Rest Winter Storytelling. Because, you know, Winter Storytelling is about wrapped up. You know, Ron goes out there and shoots from the Lolo Traveler's Rest stop.
Shout out Ron.
Shout out Ron. Represent Ron, you know. If you ever are doing an event here in town and there's someone in the background filming, that's Ron. Say hi to him.
Yeah.
So he's the guy. He just
Unless
films.
it's one of us.
Unless it's one of us.
But stay away.
Stay away from us. Karate chop. Anyways. So you also want to talk a little bit more about Invincible?
Oh, yeah.
Because Invincible is a TV show by Robert Kirkman, who also did The Walking Dead.
Yes.
And it's an Amazon animated show about a very adult, bloody, violent superhero show.
Yeah, I don't have it with me here, but this morning I saw somebody posted like what each celebrity voice cast member makes per episode.
Oh, yeah.
And I showed it to my wife, and she said, "Wow, Seth Rogen's a cheap get." And I was like, "Well, he's also a producer on the show, so
big time. He's probably making a lot of money over a lot of different things. He's diversifying his presence in filmmaking.
Absolutely.
But yeah, the amount they spend on Invincible is like they could spend so much more on the animation, but they end up paying the actors way more than they would ever pay the animators.
Yeah. Well, you know what I like about Invincible over The Boys?
Yeah.
Is Invincible never feels too cynical.
Exactly.
You know, it's like it's a deconstruction of the superhero tropes, but it's not like mean-spirited.
Yeah, and The Boys, even the source material is like they've elevated the source material because from there, it's all about shock value.
Yeah.
It's always been about shock value.
The
And
boys.
I like the boys too. They have a cynical air, and then they have like a very sadistic sense of humor, which I do
Yeah.
appreciate for what they've done
Yeah.
for most of the seasons.
It's
And they always
just-
have a big gross out scene.
It's just two very different takes on what if superheroes were real.
Yeah, of course.
You know?
Yeah.
But Invincible, all-star voice cast.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
Stephen Ewan,
J.K. Simmons.
J.K. Simmons.
By himself, just like
Yeah.
like being able to like convey all that stuff, and even Sandra Oh, shout out to Canadians for Sandra Oh, just a very prolific career that she's had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and they just replaced Andrew Reynolds. He played William.
Yes, because they have an older voice actor, and if you, all right, we were getting out of the context. We know what we're talking about,
Yes.
but the people listening have no idea
So
if they haven't seen the
recast
show.
one of the characters, William.
Yes.
This season. So he was.
The best friend.
Yes, he was voiced by Andrew Reynolds,
Yep.
known for the Book of Mormon.
Yes, he was the lead in the Book of Mormon along with Josh Gad.
Yes. And if I had a nickel for every time Andrew Reynolds was perfectly cast for a character in a cartoon and then got recast for seemingly no reason, I'd have 2 nickels.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because he was also in Fiona and Cake.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah, they recast everyone. A lot of people in the second
well,
season.
A lot of it was scheduling, from what I heard.
Yeah, because
Well,
I
at
know.
least they got Prismo back.
Yeah, but they didn't get Childish Gambino back because he was
Yeah.
in the first season too.
Yeah.
Like, and he's now going to be the voice of Yoshi in the Mario Galaxy movie. Full circle. Yeah, well, we'll see how it turns out. It's going to be interesting when they add it because
I hope he raps.
no,
I want a
he
Yoshi
doesn't.
rap.
He doesn't have to rap.
I want a Yoshi rap.
He just has to be a road, and then he has to jump, and he just does the little flutter jump, and everyone's gonna be like, "Whoa!"
Whoa,
That's it.
That's from Mario.
Well, because the Mario movie, it's gonna be. I know it's like colorful, all that kind of stuff is for the kids, but they know who's gonna go see it. The us of the us.
Mario. I haven't heard that name since yesterday.
I mean, this is their 40th anniversary year too.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of rumors going around that there's the potential to give it a 2D, 3D look for all their flagship games from the 90s. So they're gonna give that whole like facelift. Because in the Super Nintendo era, they also did a All-Star Companion where they updated all the graphics for their mainstay games.
It's also a big anniversary year for The Legend of Zelda.
Exactly.
They haven't announced anything for Zelda though.
Yeah, I think they're devoting just to Mario.
Yeah.
And anything they would do for Zelda to be like, whoa, what? I didn't know that.
Or Zelda.
We're using Mario as a smokescreen. Because, they have all these characters. And for me, like, the one thing that really is kind of, I wonder if they're ever going to adapt, like, a Kirby. Because Kirby is such a big, franchise. Like, if you've ever played a Kirby game, they give you way too much.
Yeah.
They give you every character play as a playable character.
Yeah.
It's crazy how much that is, and people don't give as much love for that because it's the same company that made Kirby that made Smash Bros.
Yep. Yeah, well, it's the same guy.
Same guy.
Masahiro Sakurai.
Yes.
Kirby, that's the name you should know. Kirby, he's the star of the show. He's more than you think. He's got maximum pink. Kirby's the one.
Nice. Now I don't have to play it.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, it's coming out this Wednesday. I'm definitely
I hope Kirby's in the movie. I would just want him to show up and go, Poyo.
welcome to the
I
Smash.
want him to be voiced by Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Yeah, I mean, like, which is crazy because, like, if you look at the balance between all the new stuff that's coming out, like, Marvel is becoming like the old cowboy shows and movies of the yesteryear, as we're transitioning to like movie-based game-based movies
And movie-based games.
Exactly.
God of War Ragnarok.
Yeah, that's getting an Amazon TV show, and they released some of the pictures of some of the actors in it, and some people are like, huh. Okay.
Yeah. Of course, we've also got Fallout Season 2.
Yes, Fallout Season 2, which I had my own misgivings about the way they ended it.
Yeah. For that one, kind of feels like they spent too long getting to Vegas, and then not much happened in Vegas.
Yeah, it always feels like when there's it's kind of weird because, like, from the Office, Parks and Rec, their freshman season are terrible. But then they really get their ducks in a row in their sophomore season. So in this case, I think they had everything that they needed in their freshman season, and they took a lot more liberties with their sophomore season, which kind of hyper-focused on they really felt smaller.
Yeah.
In my own personal opinion. But I don't know. I don't want to talk too much about it because I already talked about it in length a couple episodes ago.
Yeah. What other video game adaptations are there?
I mean, I'm also talking about anime too, because anime live action adaptations are getting a lot of things going on there. Samurai Champloo is getting their live action stuff.
Getting live action? Is it going to be the same team that did Cowboy Bebop?
No, apparently what they're going to do is they're doing the exact same model as Oda.
Oh.
So they're actually inviting the creator to kind of help showrun their show all together.
That makes a lot of sense. You know, like, Samurai Champloo, I think, is probably a decent one to go live action.
Because it's just like, just do feudal Japan.
Yeah. Plus hip-hop.
Plus hip-hop, yeah. I mean, that's music.
Yeah.
You don't even have to show the music. And a lot of the story from the thing is fairly reasonable. I mean, I don't know if they're going to have a baseball episode like they did in the series.
The baseball episode.
There's the penultimate baseball episode in an anime is, like, weirdly classical for sure.
Yeah, and then the American show is like, I'm an American.
No, seriously. I think they went in lieu of beach episodes. Because, you know, it's like, oh, remember all the female anime characters out? Let's put them in bikinis.
Whoa.
God, stupid beach episodes. I just...
Whoa.
It just feels embarrassing to, like anime just because of some of those episodes are just
some of those tropes.
Some of those tropes, it's like, you know, when you're watching, it's like really cool, but when your parents catch you watching, it's like, oh, this is not appropriate.
Hey, sometimes it mixes those moments. Like, you know, I was just watching the new Jujutsu Kaisen episode. Yeah. I was like, wow, she is just naked. There's just a... She's the character who, like, controls the sky.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, she is just naked.
Yeah, I completely forgot about that episode. Yeah, that was the most recent Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah. Of course, great fight scene, you know, four-way fight.
Yeah, I've heard it was, like, the highest rated on IMDb.
Yeah, four-way fight. It was really cool.
Yeah, I mean, I'm enjoying it so far, so good. I mean, for me, I really like the aesthetic of Frieren, Beyond Journey's End.
Yes.
If we're talking about anime. Okay, we're going to talk about anime for the rest of the show.
It's the anime hour.
It's the anime, 15-minute left in the show time.
Woo!
Our neurodivergency is sinking right now with anime.
You know, I watched the first episode of Frieren, but I never got into it.
It's a slow burn, but it's worth it in the end because it's an emotional journey of what are you going to do once you've done everything that you were supposed to do, but you outlive everyone.
Yeah, and then I finished Delicious in Dungeon in like 2 days.
Yeah, you liked it?
Yeah.
Just the way that it flows, and it's like it shows all these cool meats and meals and stuff. Yeah. And there's also a weird show about cooking too, where Matt Mercer voices one of the wolf characters, who basically is like an overpowered wolf. It's like I don't even know. It's like country cooking and izakaya or whatever. It's one of those long dopey titles, but it's essentially just Matt Mercer like loving food.
Well, what about the Way of the House Husband spinoff, where they just teach you to cook?
Oh yeah, the live action one that they put on Netflix that I watched one episode. I'm like, this is dumb.
Yeah. Well, you know, like there was barely any animation in the original.
No, the Way of the House Husband is one of those like serial shorts where it's like a 3-panel episodes, and so they would shove a whole bunch of arcs within an episode, and so you got so much out of it. Yeah. And like the story is really stupid and hokey because it's basically like a former Yakuza mob guy, and he basically just becomes a housewife or house husband.
Yeah, and he's really good at it, but he's still got the appearance of the Yakuza.
I would highly recommend it for people who like that kind of satirical kind of stuff, but at the same time...
Anytime I do a chore at home, like dishes or cooking, I look at my wife and I go, being a house husband ain't no joke.
Yeah, one of my friends has like a problematic relationship with men where she likes like the Eminem types who are kind of like rough around the edges. And
so that's what she needs.
She really liked the House Husband series based on that.
Yeah, so she needs a former Yakuza house husband.
I had a dark past, but now I'm all better now.
You fixed me.
But yeah, the whole series is like interesting too, because I really like what that aesthetic of that show does, but also the aesthetic of the disastrous life of Psyche K.
Oh yeah.
That's definitely one of those like, what if anime and Garfield was kind of like in one thing?
Whoa.
Yeah, so it's very like, I really did enjoy that series, and it's on Netflix, and I watched it a whole lot during the pandemic for sure. Yeah, there's definitely some good stuff out there. But yeah, isekais are getting out of control, and I have a theory about this one, about the vending machine one. Remember there's a vending machine isekai one where somebody gets turned into a vending machine in the other world?
Yes.
I swear to God that this show, they're getting a 3rd season, by the way. I swear that this show exists to put the feet to the fire to all the other animation studios to be like, hey, if you want to keep working this business, listen to me, or you're going to be working for the vending machine anime. I really think that's like some of those shows.
That reminds me of a story. Back during the production of DreamWorks' The Prince of Egypt.
Yes.
Animators that underperformed were sent to Shrek, and it was called Getting Shrek'd.
Yeah, I heard about that. That's hilarious. And then look at how Shrek turned out. Like
Shrek turned out great.
With all the money that they put into The Prince of Egypt, which had a more cultural significance than a budget significance.
Yeah. Oh no, The Prince of Egypt is a beautiful movie.
It's a beautiful movie, but it sold terribly. Nobody watched it. Nobody was able to. Well, people did watch it. Don't get me wrong. But they only watched it after the fact with DVD sales, movie sales, all that stuff after the fact. But when it came out in theaters, I remember like in the 90s, 80s, like if your movie made $20 million from a theater, your movie would be great. Yeah. It's great. But now it's like everything's so hyperinflated where like if you don't spend at least $100 million on a movie, you're going to have to make at least 200, if not 250 million back just to break even. Yeah.
Well, I hadn't seen a 2D movie look nearly so good until Klaus.
Yes, Klaus.
And that
they basically, it's all 2D animation, but then they use the 3D to gloss it over.
Not quite, actually. They used a lighting system that simulated 3D lighting.
Okay.
But it's all 2D drawings.
Okay, yeah. I think they did a behind the scenes on Netflix of it, too.
They had some 3D props like carriages and stuff because that's pretty common these days. But...
And honestly, my appreciation for that show in general, J.K. Simmons, once again, is the voice as Klaus,
yes.
the Santa Claus, basically character. They had, what's his face?
Look, if you need a grumpy old man, J.K. Simmons is your guy.
Yeah, just, he's perfect. And
grumpy old man, heart of gold.
Yeah, seriously. Like in the 90s, he was kind of known as the rough and go-to guy, as like the violent psychopath, because he was in Oz, the prison show. Yeah. That's where he became who he was. And then he kind of branched off, especially with...
Honestly, since Spider-Man, he's always been the grumpy old guy with a heart of gold.
Yeah, exactly. Well, he's always been like kind of like the antagonist for a lot of movies. And I think I was actually listening to the audio commentary from the movie Juno, which J.K. Simmons was the dad character. Yeah. And he was just like, I remember...
He just got to be a supportive dad in that one.
Exactly. So it was one of the things that kind of like changed gears. Because who's the one that directed Juno? Was it Sam Reitman?
I don't know.
Jason Reitman. Jason Reitman directed Juno. He did a bunch of others, kind of like indie films, especially with the writings of Diablo Cody. And he was pretty prolific. And he also did the... Because, he's the son of Reitman who did the Ghostbusters movies. And Jason Reitman, he was the one that did the modern reboot of the one with Finn Wolfhard. So Jason Reitman definitely comes from the Lego, Nepo, director, baby, all that kind of stuff. But regardless, he made quite an impact, especially when I was in high school with Juno, because Juno was such a huge... It was so big that a group of girls got together and be like, let's get pregnant. And they did. They call that the Juno effect. Did you hear about that? You were too young for that, but for sure it hit hard.
Well, my older sister really liked Juno.
No, I love that movie when it came out.
And then, 2007, I was 8. So I was like, my older sister likes this movie. I'm not going to watch it.
Exactly. That's kind of how it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you've ever grown up with
siblings. Movies. Like I didn't watch Billy Elliot for a long time.
I've never seen Billy Elliot.
It's a good movie.
Yeah, great. It's basically about a boy who goes into theater and dance and ballet, right?
Yeah, and like...
And he's like, he's in Ireland, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so of course,
during the Troubles.
They're in the Troubles, for sure. I mean, in the 90s, like, if you ever watch, it kind of reminds me of, because I watched the movie Sing Street, where boys who go to a boys' Catholic school, and they're all about being a tough men, it was in the 80s, and so that was the punk movement kind of growing in Ireland. And it was kind of, like, interesting because the people would get, like, the priest would beat their students up for wearing eyeliner. Yeah, so it was kind of like one of the crazy movies that came out, and they have a good album. I highly recommend Sing Street, but also I'll have to check out Billy
Elliot.
Billy Elliot, yeah, because that's who's the actor in that one?
I don't know. I'm terrible at remembering names.
Oh, okay.
But it's been a long time since I've seen it too.
Yeah, we're kind of going on a movie rant tangent. We might as well just be called the Roxy Radio Hour.
There's the MCAT Roxy Radio.
Roxy Hour. Yeah. What was your recent movie you saw at the Roxy?
Oh, I went and watched Undertone.
Nice. Oh yeah, you're right. You're talking about the podcast horror movie.
Yes. It's about a woman taking care of her mother who's going to pass away any day.
Yep.
Right? And she's basically in a coma. And spooky audio happens.
Exactly. And 80% of good horror movies have good audio.
Yeah. No, the audio is incredible. Like the concept itself isn't bad, but you've seen it before. But their focus on making sure that the sounds line up, that's what creates.
Yeah.
That and like the last 5 minutes or so of the movie go off the rails.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of the Michael Keaton movie, White Noise. And the whole point of it is that when he records, he boosts up the audio so high where he can hear the voice of his wife who just died.
Oh.
And so he's a ghost hunter. But then then of course there's always the guy who knows more who doesn't tell all the truth, and he's like, "Don't do that! Don't do the white noise! Don't do it, Michael Keaton! I mean Michael Keaton's character, whatever your name is in the movie." And then at the end, I don't want to spoil it, but it's an old movie. Like the ghost got him in the end.
Yeah.
Because he was messing with forces he shouldn't be messing with.
Yeah.
That's always the kind of the common trope of like horror, demons, and all that kind of stuff.
I actually just watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre for the first time.
The original?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how many horror tropes of the modern era started there.
Yeah.
Well,
like Halloween, heck, even because Halloween and Friday the 13th are always at constant odds.
Well, yeah, because Friday the 13th is a studio ripoff of Halloween.
Exactly.
It grew into its own thing.
Yes, but it still followed the shape, the unspeakable monster that tracks. And like Friday the 13th definitely had a lot more love and goofiness behind it, while Halloween was just like take itself way too seriously. And then they kind of shot themselves in the foot with the second movie where it's like Season of the Witch.
Oh, that's the third one, isn't it?
No, is it?
Yeah.
The third one. Sorry.
Yeah,
the second one's the
anthology.
hospital. The second one's the hospital. Yeah.
Well, one thing that I think sets Leatherface apart from those other slashers, he runs and he screams while he runs.
Yeah.
That's scary.
It's pretty freaky, for sure.
Like the way I put it while I was watching with Anya is like, well, when Michael Myers or Jason chase you, they're walking, and right, that's scary because it's like, oh, they're a predator.
Yes.
But with Leatherface, he's when he chases you, he's running because he has to catch you.
He has to catch you.
He's frenzied.
Yeah, well, because if you, I was watching on my reels that they're doing the Michael Myers game, and how they pad out the differences when you're turned around, because you're playing as Michael Myers. When the person turns around, you go into this like fast motionscape. Where it's like it feels like you're teleporting.
Yeah.
Which is kind of trying to over-explain an action of a monster that you never really needed to do. You just kind of assumed what it was.
Well, Friday the 13th did that too in the movies. Like, Jason Takes Manhattan. There's a scene where one of the victims is in like the dance room on the boat, and she's just turning around. She's like, whoa, and Jason just keeps appearing where she's looking.
Yeah. Oof.
That's when they just gave up. Like, oh, can he teleport? Yes.
Pretty much. Yeah, they're walking.
I love Jason Takes Manhattan.
Yeah. And then that was the same thing when we had the, Scream, which is very much like, it's like Cloak and Dagger kind of killer.
Don't you know we always work in pairs?
Exactly.
Do you like scary movies?
Exactly. And I heard that the voice of him is going to be doing another project that's coming out pretty soon.
Oh, did you watch Hard Eyes?
No.
That one was pretty good. It came out, a year ago?
I feel like it came out like four years ago or so.
Oh, no, it wasn't that long.
Hard Eyes.
It was like a year and a half.
Oh, this is the one about like somebody, like couples who get killed on Valentine's Day?
Yeah, it's a Valentine's slasher.
So
right?
Valentine's Day, they kill one of them, and then then they chase the other person, essentially.
That one was directed by Josh Rubin.
Oh.
You might remember from Dropout.
Okay.
Yeah, he's on a lot of episodes of Make Some Noise.
Okay.
He's the guy who does the bird sounds.
Which is hilarious because when you think about Robert Eggers, and is it Robert Eggers? He's the one that did the Weapons.
Oh yes.
Yep. He was the Whitest Kids You Know comedy troupe.
Well, the pacing of comedy and the pacing of horror aren't that different.
Yeah, it's about tension and release. You got to build up the tension, and then you have to have some kind of release.
Yep. Well, it's why the ending of Weapons is just hilarious.
Yeah. Oh, it is like the biggest relief at the very end, where everything is just ramping up, like the uncomfortableness of everything. Especially when Josh Brolin's character wakes up, he's like, "What the heck?" and just yells out into the ether, and it's like, yeah, it was just like, cool, what are you gonna do? That's an exactly human response that you would do if you had like one of those messed up dreams. You're like, what was that?
Yeah.
And I think that really kind of played into it, because later on in the movie, it's like then you meet the villain, and it's like, oh, okay, that's kooky. Because everyone knows, but Gladys is out now and everything. And my favorite thing that's coming out now is the Wayans brothers is bringing back Scary Movie. They're bringing back the old school cast for Scary Movie 6, all the characters from the first movies, and sprinkling in a whole bunch of other things as well. So I'm excited for that.
When did they lose the rights to that?
It was a whole Miramax Weinstein situation. Well, yeah, Weinstein really kind of messed up with Kevin Smith, which is why he wasn't able to make Dogma 2, because that was his goal. He didn't have the rights to it, and everything was locked up in like legal limbo, and of course Miramax couldn't really do anything.
Yes.
Anyways, we're pretty much wrapped up for the KFGM 101.5 show.
Yes.
You're listening to MCAT Radio. I'm Scott.
And I'm Neil.
Take care, everyone.